everyone. I am Jerry Weissman, and this is the training room here at Power Presentation Limited.
I'm here because I have a presentation coming up and was encouraged to read your book, Presenting to Win, The Art of Telling Your Story. It was my hope that you could expand on some of the main topics from the book.
Well, there are 3 points that I want to stress to each client that are key to having a successful presentation. What's in it for you, creating flow, and capturing your audience. Once you have those 3 ideas down, you are on your way to building a powerful presentation.
I read in chapter 2 about how important the idea of what's in it for you can be, but I'm not sure I fully understand how it will help my audience move from point A to point B.
As you read, the point of the what's in it for you is to shift your focus as the presenter away from yourself to the audience. It is important to give a presentation that your audience can follow than to be on a big, flashy show. Facts and numbers and studies are all important, but if you fail to help the audience understand why moving from point A to point B is important, then you will not make them agree to the product. This is where what's in it for you comes into play. By asking yourself what's in it for the audience, you start to think as one of the audience members. So why should they invest in your product? Tell the client what they get out of it. What's in it for them?
So, at the end of each section in my presentation, I say, you should care about this because.
Well, not quite. You want it all to sound smooth, like a normal part of the section. There are 6 key phrases to help you weave the what's in it for you idea throughout the presentation in the book.
I remember reading them, so all I need to do is just add these phrases to my speech and I'm all set.
That's only the beginning. When we started, I said there were 3 things that you needed to understand. What's in it for you, creating flow, capturing your audience. We've established what it means to incorporate the phrase, what's in it for you, to our presentation. Now we need to understand the importance of the flow of the presentation.
Don't I just move from point to point until I've covered everything?
That sounds like it would work, but if you want to make sure each section flows clearly and seamlessly into the next, you want to spend some time working on the structure of each part. I have created 16 different flow structures that are sure to help keep your presentation on point. There is the modular, chronological, physical.
I did read the book, Mr. Wiseman. I understand what they are, but how do I use them? Do I just pick one of these to structure my entire presentation around?
I would have you start by picking just one that makes sense to you. But as you continue to refine your presentation, you should be able to see where using multiple flow structures and possibly even a different one for each section can be useful. It all depends on what kind of information you want to get across to your audience.
I can see where telling a story might not help the audience to compare the results of 2 different products.
Exactly. So now that we understand what's in it for you and the importance of creating a flow, we can focus on how to capture your audience.
Aren't they already captured audience, stuck in their seats until I'm finished?
Well, their bodies may be stuck in those seats. Their minds could be focused on any number of thoughts. It is in their minds that you need to capture them. Otherwise, you won't be able to get them to move from point A to point B. Like, what were you thinking about when you came in here today?
Well, I was wondering what to make for dinner. If I have enough groceries, what I should get my nephew for his birthday.
So you had a lot of different things filling up your mind. Everyone is like that. When your audience is taking their seats for your presentation, they are not thinking solely on what you're talking about. You need to capture their attention and focus their minds on a single thought. Your presentation. Since you read the book, can you tell me what the 7 openings are?
There are questions, facts, being retrospective, being prospective, telling an anecdote, repeating a quote, an aphorism, or familiar saying and using an analogy.
That's right. It's important to start off slowly, not forcing your audience to do a lot of thinking. Once you've grabbed their attention, you can start feeding them the information that they need. But remember that throughout the entire speech, you want them to be forced to do as little hard thinking as possible.
I think that I'm starting to understand.
Good. You know, these concepts can be used for more than simply creating a presentation. Can you think of how you might use them in your job?
I can use it when creating reports for my superiors. By taking the time to understand exactly what they are looking for, I can curtail my reports to the information that they need instead of filling it with useless data. It can also be used when communicating with my co-workers.
Absolutely. When working on a group project, you can avoid miscommunication by thinking what's in it for the other people. Every conversation should be focused on the best way to get information across in a way that the people you are talking to will understand. In the book of James, it talks about how powerful the tongue can be. This is one tool we can use to help us create unity. Philippians is about the importance of unity through humility, and Proverbs reminds us that humility is the beginning of wisdom.
Thank you, Mr. Wiseman. I think that now I am not only ready to work on my presentation, but also to go out into the world with a more you attitude.